the Wi-Fi is working now.
Which one?
Well, like I said, I'm on the wired connection, so the internet is working. Oh, no, it's not.
What's the password? Colonial Fleet is just
Yeah.
roll hard 6, right?
Yep.
Is it just roll a hard 6? Or is it like sometimes you have to roll a hard 6?
I'm a little busy right now, Joe. Okay, so now we do seem to be back live. That's the... Yeah, I know, but that's the first video.
You have to make a new watch party.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at least partially back. So, here.
Next generation chess.
The other thing that was a problem was this first one. Even when we started the game, it went way too fast. And it's set for regular time. Okay. Let's try again, maybe.
Video.
Take that back.
Now we're yellow again.
Baby.
What can I say? Probably did not pay enough homage to Florence, and she's back as a ghost today. So this is Florence Nightingale's birthday, and actually also International Nurses Day. So I probably should have led with that. So let's see. I don't want to automatically move through the questions, so let's just play the game, shall we? Okay, so thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully things are going to fire up again. You're going to enter. We should see on the screen if we go to another mode, our other mode here.
There's me.
All right.
It's Emma.
So in theory, if you go to this website and enter this
Kahoot got
code,
it.
then you'll be able to get into the game. Otherwise, you can just put your answers as we go through the. Just put them in the comment section, and we'll see what happens. So, let's give it a shot,
Letterman.
shall we? Question number 1:
Oh well. You
Are you what?
You didn't wait for anybody to get in.
Yeah, that was only us
was just
in
us.
the game.
Well, I know that's fine. See, why is it going so fast?
Well, because now it's.
Oh,
just
now
Yeah,
it's the
this
question.
is
Oh, okay. Well, people can still log in. You can still see the game. Oh no, you can't because it's probably going to be under the. So, the question is, you should breathe in fast and hard when you use your metered dose inhaler. That looks like this. So,
Oh, I was wrong.
well, Emma.
Hey. Wait, there's a third person? Awesome.
So, your choices are true and false. And we're going to actually make that just a little bit smaller so it's a little bit easier to see on the screen. So, this kind of inhaler, are you going fast or are you going slow?
Well, the question already finished.
Well, we're a little bit behind here, Joe, so. All right, so that was a good test question. We're trying new stuff. Mellow yellow. Joe, thank you.
What?
Other Joe Walsh. Sorry. Joe.
Welcome, Joe
He
Walsh.
says,
It's me. I have your name.
he says, no, false. That is true. False is the correct answer. This is a nice, slow, deep breath in. And
Joe got
that's
it
how
right.
that works. So,
Wait, is he also doing the Kahoot?
I don't know, but we've tried to make it a little bit easier. We've got people answering not just in the Kahoot, but also just in the comment section because Kahoot is a thing. So, and then I also had a nice little picture of the meter dose inhaler there just so that we could all have some fun. So, hopefully we got a little bit of those bugs out, and we'll try the next question here, which is, I believe, making it a little bit harder, stepping it up a little bit.
Oh, Tommy's playing.
Oh, awesome.
All right, well done, Lighterman and Tommy.
Tommy is
I failed.
our sibling.
Yes.
I failed. Good job.
You
He
have
was
learned
also
nothing.
in the chair yoga.
Yes. All right, so our next question, question 2. This is a multiple choice, a little bit more of a statistical thing. So what percent of cases are not caused by smoking? Is it 0%? Is every case of COPD caused by smoking? 5%? Most are caused by smoking? 20%? Or are only 2/3 caused by smoking?
Darn it.
Hey!
And the answer is 20%. 1 in 5 cases of COPD is not caused by smoking. And so one thing I'm learning here is I think we need to make the time frame a little bit longer, huh?
Tommy and I know what's up.
Well, it finishes when all of your players answer the
Oh,
question.
well, then maybe you
Yeah.
don't answer the question until 90 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
One of you, because we got people. Remember, we got people watching from home, not in the Kahoot. So if all three of you answer, then does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you wait to answer longer, you won't get as many points.
Well, I have 0 points, so
So Joe hitting us up again with 20%. Well done. We are all learning at least a little bit on how we're going to do this better in the future. That's for sure.
Go, Joe.
So next question. What else we got here? Hey, Karen checking in. Hey, Karen, did I see, please remember to go ahead and post that survey. I know you were asking about that survey that's coming across the pond from Carol Liddell. We want to make sure that we have access to that too. So let's go ahead and get that in there too. So Karen, you probably remember, Emma and Joey. So emphysema was first described, one of the key components of lung disease, emphysema first described in 1977, in 1679, 1944, or 1852. What do you guys think about that one? Without answering it on the thing, because I actually want to be able to give people a chance. So,
Well, I don't know the answers.
I'm gonna go with the green one.
I guess
1852. That's an interesting answer.
I guess 1977.
1977 was a very historic year for a variety of reasons. So it could very
Oh,
well
really?
be that it was.
I feel
It
like
was
it's
indeed.
either
Awesome.
green or circle. I guess yellow. I don't know. I don't know which one to pick.
Oh, 3 answers. That means we've got a 4th player now.
Damn it.
Emma,
Emma.
Sorry.
family show.
My bad.
It was blue.
So the answer, yes. Actually, going all the way back, the first known reference to emphysema was by, I believe it's Teodoro Bonelli in 1679, trying to bring up a title of his book, if I can find it. This was a gentleman who was actually one of our first pathologists.
Why else was 1977 special? Or
Well, it
historic?
just so happens that was the year that I was born.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And also Star Wars.
Fun fact.
I can't find. He had wrote a book after doing a lot of autopsies, and described this phenomenon where some people just had this kind of big, boggy, saggy lung deal that he described as voluminous lungs. But based on the descriptions in the book, in this book of pathology, it seems to be emphysema.
Awesome.
So, been around for a while and still have a long way to go for advocacy stuff. So, all right. Did anybody weigh in on that one? We had one person. Let's see who that was. Do we know?
It was Tommy.
All right. Well
Who's
done,
Kim?
Tommy. Kim
Welcome,
must
Kim.
be Kim Pracken there checking in locally.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, thank you. All right. Next up, we've got another multiple choice. Which legendary TV news anchor is currently known, along with his wife,
We watched
for
he was
his
at the
strong
thing.
support of pulmonary rehab? But do not give away the answer and wait until we're...
Do you know the answer?
Is it Dan Rather of CBS News? And did he? I don't know if he did anything other than CBS News, but I knew him for CBS News. Ted Koppel of ABC Nightline fame. Is it Tom Brokaw, author of The Greatest Generation, NBC News? Or was it the famous San Diegan newscaster Ron Burgundy, the legendary Ron Burgundy?
I'm going to go with Ron Burgundy. I don't know at all,
All right,
but
so
I'm going to go with Ron Burgundy.
we've got one vote for Ron Burgundy. Somebody answered again and is cutting off our 90 seconds.
Whoops.
You had one job.
All right, I'll wait. I knew this one. I was excited to answer.
It was Ted Koppel.
It is indeed Ted Koppel. Joe Walsh, Karen checking in with the correct answer there. 2 people got it right. Joey checking in with the, believe it or not, fictional Ron Burgundy, played by the great Will Ferrell in the movie Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
I didn't know.
Anchorman
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, we'll have to fix that.
Anchorman 2.
I'm not a huge Will Ferrell guy.
Oh, it's a funny movie, though. It's a funny movie. So, what else we got here? Where are we at? We've got Emma
Second place.
coming up a little bit there because she keeps answering prematurely. So
Got him.
You could tell Tommy or Joey to stop answering.
We have more points than you.
Wow.
all right. So our next question: COPD can affect what body systems? We know what it often affects, but what can it affect here? Is it just the heart and the cardiovascular system? Is it the brain central nervous system? Is it the lungs? Or is it all of the above?
Ooh, I might have chosen wrong.
This could be on the easier side. Maybe should have put this one out there early on, but one of the the studies that come out from time to time has a feature that not saying this correctly, but we've got the NIH does a survey of perceptions and things like that. And they just like to find whether people are aware of what COPD is. And believe it or not, even still, there are about 20 to 25% of people out there are not aware at all of COPD. So if you are aware of COPD, you generally have a pretty good idea of what it might be. But what does it affect? Joe and Karen weigh in with all systems. Lynn.
Answer now?
Hi, Lynn. Yeah, go ahead and answer. We're getting down toward the end here. The answer is, of course, all of the above. Joey, did you say lungs, pulmonary?
I did.
So lungs, pulmonary is not a bad answer because that is, of course, where it starts. That's the home of COPD, right?
That's where it lives.
But when you have trouble breathing, your other systems get affected too.
Don't do that.
First and foremost, your heart. When you're having trouble breathing, you're not getting all the oxygen, all that stuff. Your heart has to work a lot harder, and so that can cause some ill effects in the cardiovascular system. And a much underrated, very underrated complication of COPD is a lot of impact on your brain and your nervous system. So
Because you're not getting enough oxygen.
You're not getting enough oxygen, so sometimes it can range from things like brain fog and that sort of thing, but all the way up to anxiety, depression, those sorts of issues, even some neuropathy changes where, and lots of issues like that. So COPD really affects pretty much every body system, not even just these three, but you go into pretty much everywhere. So
I was going to say all of them, but I didn't know if that was going to be an answer.
Kind of a trick question. But hello, Mary from Texas, and happy Allergy and Asthma Awareness Month. Mary, part of the Asthma Allergy Network, does a fantastic job with that and has been a great advocate for many lung issues, including Harmonicas for Health. One of our leading Harmonicas for Health advocates has been on the news a couple of times even.
Nice.
Where are we standing here? So Kim on the board, Emma being courteous enough, so we'll give her 10,000 points of bonus there.
What?
For giving up, finally catching on and holding off on the answers. Tommy and the infamous Ladderman
And Kim.
taking the lead there. Yes, Kim on the board. So question 6, true or false? True or false? You got a 50-50 shot on this one. True or false? Women are more likely to get COPD than men. So a little bit less time on this one just because it is true false. We don't have as many clicks and taps and all that stuff to do. So women more likely to get COPD than men. What do you guys think? Verbally, weigh in. What do you think?
I'm going to go with false.
Okay.
Also
I don't
gonna
know
go
the
with
smoking
false, but-
statistics, so I mean, women might smoke a lot more than I think, but I don't
Well,
know.
COPD is also caused by factory work, right? And
Can be,
generally
can
more
be.
men work in factories.
We had that
That's a
that
statistic,
question
I
earlier
think,
where 1 in 5 was
More men.
not smoking. So
tend to work in factories. Not as like a
Also-
sexist thing. I just happen to know that's like a fact.
yeah, I think that's generally
A
true. I think that's
factory.
true. Mary weighs in with true. Karen, Joe also saying true.
Well, that doesn't sound great for me.
The answer is indeed true.
I changed my answer because the smart people were weighing in.
Peer pressure.
How dare you?
So yes,
waited.
this is true. It used to be that it was generally considered more men than women. But over the last, I want to say 5 to 10 years in particular, we have noticed that it does seem to affect women more and more severely. I've seen a lot of theories about that, all the way from genetic differences in the genders or in the biological sexes, all the way to in the 80s, women were entering the workforce arguably a little bit more than they had ever before, and so then they were doing their smoke breaks, and there was that whole kind of the working girl phenomenon and everything else. So, and now we're seeing kind of the repercussions from that.
Oh, that's fair.
40 years later, 30 to 40 years later. So, yeah.
Cigarettes.
I just hate to think that the 80s was 30 to 40 years ago. What was that, Joe?
I said cigarettes should be illegal.
I would not be opposed to that. All of us in clinically in the COPD community, we're some of the oddballs that we would really like to be out of a job with a cure or with lack of development of COPD, all that. We want to put ourselves out of work. So next up, where are we at? Oh, Emma is apparently on fire. Oh, a high answer streak. Okay, cool.
She's past Ladderman.
Uh-oh. Ladderman's got to pull it together over there.
I don't know this.
Are you learning some stuff, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Good job. Next up, we are back to multiple choice. What is the best way, clinically the best way to diagnose COPD? Do you want to do a high-resolution CT scan? Do you do the 6-minute walk test? Do you do high-quality spirometry? Or do you use the COPD assessment test to diagnose COPD? Karen, going back to the last question, there was heavy marketing to women. You've come a long way, baby. Yes, absolutely. Virginia Slim. I don't know if this was the marketing slogan for Virginia Slim, but so PFT, Joe Walsh, another spirometry PFT, kind of interchangeable. I probably should have put a slash there, but that's the thought there. Karen says a CT scan.
Emma says spirometry, but
Emma
that's
says
one of
spirometry.
the only words I recognize.
Okay.
Well, I know
spirometry.
CT scan. but
Joey says spirometry. Excuse me, Ladderman says spirometry.
Ladderman.
So yes, going back to Karen's idea, the heavy marketing toward women, yes, absolutely another factor. Careful, Joe. Some of the panels are not well suspended over in the corner, so they're kind of shaking a little bit. So 10 seconds, lock in those answers.
Can I answer?
Mary says all but, yeah, go ahead and get those answers. And Mary says use all but spirometry.
Whoa.
You use all but spirometry to diagnose COPD? The official, literal gold standard from the Global Initiative for Chronic Obstructive Lung Disease is that you should use spirometry. You must use spirometry to diagnose formally because the actual definition of chronic obstruction is your FEV1, which is what you blow out in a forceful exhalation in the first second, over your entire forceful exhale. Your forced vital capacity has to be less than 70%.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Exactly.
That's what you talk about all the time.
Dad has
when you do
sometimes-
spirometry, Joe, where's my spirometer? Oh, here it is.
Spirometer.
We have our spirometer, and this gives me an idea. One of these days, we can do that. We can do a good demonstration, and I can demonstrate good coaching. It's usually just me by myself, but when you do spirometry, you do this kind of maneuver.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep
I'm
going.
getting mixed up.
Why would you let out the big thing at first if you want to go longer?
Well, because you have to. It's a forceful exhale. The maneuver is you have to blow out as hard and fast as you possibly can, because that way we get consistent results. If you do kind of a halfway, sometimes it might be 60% force, sometimes it might be 40% force, and it's not consistent. So that throws off our measurements. But if you're always doing maximal force, then it's a lot more consistent, and we get better data. So yes, now that isn't to say that these other things don't have their roles. High resolution CT scan is all very good when we're trying to figure out where there's damaged parts of the lung with emphysema. If we're looking at something like lung volume reduction or something like that, a 6-minute walk test is a test of endurance, and that helps us figure out how effective pulmonary rehab can be, among other things. The COPD assessment test, I use it every visit just to see where your symptom burden is and things like that. But for diagnosis, spirometry PFT, that's your winner right there. So all 4 correct answers on that one. Emma continuing her hot streak with 4 answers in a row. Tommy out to a commanding lead, though. Coming up on the last couple of questions here, we've got question 8. What state has the highest prevalence of COPD?
Solid.
Age-adjusted prevalence.
I'm going to say Florida, because Florida.
Florida, potentially a good answer. Florida does tend to skew a little bit older with a lot of retirees and stuff like that. So, West Virginia, another contender.
Yeah, I was thinking West Virginia because there's a lot of mines there.
There
right?
are indeed a lot of coal mines in West Virginia. So, Michigan, the great state, arguably the best state, of course.
I don't know. The news would.
Well, we're not looking so good right now in some aspects, but or Louisiana, home of New Orleans, which that's where we were when we got to see Ted Koppel speak, as you were mentioning earlier.
Unfortunately, I fell asleep. Sorry, Ted.
Yeah, it was a long night. So, so West Virginia, Michigan, Louisiana, Florida. Mary Hart checking in with West Virginia. Karen also says West Virginia. What are you guys thinking?
I was thinking West Virginia.
What's your move, Joe?
I said
You already
Florida
answered Florida.
Oh, that's right, Florida.
Florida is
Florida man.
Florida man, it's not a bad answer. It could still be right.
Yeah, but all the other people say West Virginia, and they know more about this
Smart
than
boys.
me.
All right, I'm gonna put in my answer.
Go ahead and put in your answer. I'm
Woohoo!
pulling this up here. It is indeed West Virginia, with the 12%. The last time I was, the COPD Foundation measured that. I want to see if I can pull up real quick. Joe, you're not terribly wrong.
Well, I mean, I am, though.
Well,
You're just misinformed.
That's not... But I'm wrong.
It
That's
was a
the
guess.
thing.
but Florida does have a fairly high prevalence. If you go to... Actually, I'll throw this up here real quick. If you go to the COPD... that's COPD Foundation. And you go to some of their statistics. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here in just a second. I'll hold this up here. The COPD Foundation, make sure I'm holding this correctly here, has some great resources for where you can actually go to and look at your state or whichever state you would like. If we look at Florida, Florida's prevalence is 6.2%. So they're actually improving a little bit, but they are in the second... what do we call it? Quintile. They're in the second chunk of states.
Where's Michigan?
Michigan also in, I believe, that same quintile. We are at statewide, according to the COPD Foundation, we're at 7.5% of adults who've been diagnosed. So Kalamazoo County is a little bit higher. We were looking at that last year when we were working on our subcontract. And it's also important to remember that we anticipate that we're missing about half the people who actually have it. So Florida, black lung does not count. No, this is not a different process, not counted in the stats. But the two Joes were both on the same page there, going for Florida. So I mean, that's not a unreasonable thing. Theirs is fairly high, but West Virginia is the correct answer here. So. Tommy continuing on his streak. Well, everybody's got streaks going here, so that's going well here. Question number 9, we're back to true or false. Nebulizers, our good friends the nebulizers, always work better for medications. So we've got this type of nebulizer. Where's my other nebulizer? Here we go. These always work better when delivering medications. Getting your nebulization on. For full disclosure, I do not know this person in the picture. This is a picture from Wikipedia. So I'm guessing maybe maybe it's a bad guess, but this was some kind of open source or unsourced document. So I don't have to worry about HIPAA or anything like that before we get into any of those discussions. So.
Who's HIPAA?
The Health Information Portability and Privacy Act?
It makes sure doctors can't give your private information away.
Correct.
That's important, but they need a better name.
The answer is
Lost my answer streak.
false.
I thought it was false, but then I saw the people on there and they were like, "That's true," and I was like,
Now, here's why that is widely considered to be true. Because we as clinicians, and this is a sentence that many of you have heard me say before, including you guys, we clinicians do a crap job of teaching people how to use their inhalers. We just don't do a very good job of giving people their medications. And so, because a nebulizer is less dependent on technique and effort, it is usually thought to be more effective. But with proper training, in many cases, and again, I'm a big proponent of the idea of the right tool for the right job, so not every case, but when you teach somebody how to use one of these things, they can be, physics tells us and studies tell us that when properly taught, you can get just as much medication out of one of these than with a nebulizer. But it's an issue of teaching, so split down the middle on that one, 2 true and 2 false. So
"Lost my streak."
always be careful with always true false answers.
That's what I
So
was thinking.
Mary put in false on that one. So good job. So 10 out of 10, our last question. So which of these, and this one's going to be a tough one too, which of these is not an aim of a high quality COPD therapy plan? Is it reversal of the lung injury? Is it reducing the risk of exacerbations or flares? Is it increasing the quality of life, or is it reducing the burden of symptoms? So this one is not. 3 of these are an aim, 1 of them is not.
I'm gonna go with the reversal of lung injury there.
Karen, never too wrong. Never,
Oh,
can't be
crap.
wrong too many
Okay.
times, because this is what we're learning about. We deal a lot in myths and facts. And I hope to see you over at the Right to Breathe event. I'm guessing that's where you're going, but I hope to see you over there in a little bit, actually. Had we not gotten started late, I'd be over there right now. But Mary Hart says, A, reversal of lung injury, not an aim of high-quality therapy plans. What do you guys think?
I was thinking reversal of lung injury because you talk about and you want to increase the quality of life of your patients and reducing symptoms and exacerbations all the time. That's like your main goal.
Joe and Karen agreeing with that logic. You can go ahead and get your answer in. Everybody's got their answer? Okay, so that is true. We definitely want to try to reduce the risk of exacerbations because we know that can make your lung injury worse. We want to definitely increase everybody's quality of life, and we want to reduce the burden of symptoms because that leads to increased quality of life and hopefully to reduce risk of exacerbations. But unfortunately, with our current technology, it's really hard to, if not impossible, to reverse that lung injury. What we can do is help you overcome it. We can help you with breathing techniques that can reduce that burden, but we really can't reverse it. Right now, we hope to have some stuff on the horizon over the next 10 years. So for COPD Navigator, our initial Trivia Taco Tuesday, we've got Ladderman in 3rd place, Emma in 2nd place, and Thomas, the big winner today.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Good job. Good job to everybody. You guys did a good job. Hopefully you learned a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't
All
know
right.
Tommy knew that much about this.
Maybe he's just good at guessing.
that could be. That could be.
I get the sneaking suspicion it's possible he looked something up. But he still learned if he did. So.
All right, so we'll go back to our usual screen there, albeit slightly more yellow than usual, which I'm still baffled as to why.
We're just yellow now.
Yeah, we
how
just
it goes.
we just live in a yellow submarine now, I guess.
It's the new disease.
So well done to Tommy, well done Emma, well done Joey.
Tommy says he didn't look anything up, he just pays attention.
Sure.
Welcome to Maria checking in on the Facebook feed here. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. I apologize for the technical issues that we had toward the beginning of the program. I'm excited. Thank you, Mary. Mary says, always love to see you all. Keep up the great work. Please, you do the same. This was a fun experience. I think we'll be able to do this again, hopefully a little bit more smoother going forward. So what do you guys think about the concept in general? Is this kind of a
I had a good
interesting activity?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
playing Kahoot.
Cool.
He might not have looked anything up, but he definitely doesn't pay attention.
Oh,
That's
got a
not it.
little
I don't
little
think that's
sibling
Tommy's
rivalry. But
strong suit.
the
If
70s filter causing the color. It's a tribute to Ron Burgundy, I guess. So it's Kim says that was fun once I was able to get on. So excellent. I would love to hear some more feedback in the comments or via email or on Twitter, wherever it is down there. Let me know. Again, we can do this. The free version of Kahoot, which I have right now, can support up to 10 people actually competing. We can also, like I said, it's just it's similarly easy to be doing a lot of this stuff with just adding questions and things like that. So this has been fun. We'll do this again. So with that, I would encourage everybody to head over to, I know there's an Eventbrite page, but you can get some information over on the Right to Breathe Facebook page about how to register and then sign into their event. They're starting now. And I know they've got another one going in at 7:00 if you need to stop for a little bit and have some dinner on Taco Tuesday or what have you. So I appreciate everybody coming in today, having some fun with us on Tuesday. Many thanks to Emma and Joseph, as well as Tommy and Kelly checking in upstairs. We'll see you tomorrow. Until tomorrow, my name is Mike Hess. I am the COPD dude. Hope you are taking care of yourselves, taking care of each other, and making sure that you're breathing lightly out there. So we'll see you tomorrow, everybody.